We're doing great. And first of all, I want to say thank you so much. I know it was kind of last minute for you guys to get on the call, but we really appreciate it. We have close to 30 scholars on the call right now.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah, so we're definitely looking forward to hear what you guys do there. And then, when the weather before the summer, we're scheduled a time to actually come out to the farm to bring some students out there.
Oh, that'd be great. That'll be great. And then if they have any questions, they can certainly ask. They can interrupt us and ask.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to hand it over to you.
Okay, wonderful.
Oh yeah, I could turn it around. Perfect.
You're
You're
good.
awesome.
Okay, so let's go over here and we're going to talk about alpacas. And just video those and I can talk. These are alpacas. I don't know how many of you have seen them before. They're in the camelid family. And what that means is they have relatives that are llamas, guanacos, vicuñas, and then of course alpacas and camels.
And camels.
Oh, and camels. That's right. And camels, Melinda says. That's right. All right. And I fed them some alfalfa here. So this is a treat for them. So they're kind of chowing down a little bit. They chew from side to side. Unlike you and I, we don't really chew side to side. They chew like a figure eight. And you can see her chewing. See how she does her mouth? Alpacas don't have any upper teeth. So if you go to feed them, you put your hand flat and they can't bite you. What they do is they gum the food out of your hand. And alpacas come in 23 different colors and variations of all of those colors. And we have some two-tone ones here. And we've got dark brown over here and a camel brown over here. And this is considered a silver gray. And this is considered a rose gray. And this, of course, is a red brown. So pretty. Yeah. Alpaca's babies are called crias, C-R-I-A-S. And they're with their mom. They nurse from their mom for the first 6 months of their life. And then they sort of get weaned. And weaned means that they're no longer dependent on their mother for food. And they kind of begin to go off on their own. They only begin. They're not all of a sudden weaned. It takes a long process. Alpacas are pregnant for 11 months. And they usually just have one baby. And the baby weighs around 7 pounds, around 14 pounds, between 12 and 14 pounds. And it has a long neck and a long legs. And once it gets on the ground, it takes it about 10 minutes to start walking around. That's how quick. It's like a little baby horse. They just sort of start walking around. We're going to let you see more of these. Does anybody have any questions about the alpacas?
I do.
Okay, tell me what your question is.
You said they only have one baby. So is it rare for them to have more than one?
We've birthed about 100 or 150 babies here. And we've only had one that had twins and they both died. And the reason for that is because the alpacas, they don't develop properly because an alpaca is so small on its insides. And so we had one born dead, and then the other one lived for about 4 days in spite of us doing everything we could do to save them. And so we didn't have any luck, and the vet was here too. It was just it just didn't develop its lungs properly. And so they don't generally live if they're twins.
No.
Does anybody else have any questions? No.
How they live?
How long do they live? Oh, at my farm, they live around 18 to 20 years. We take very good care of animals here, but normally their lifespan would be around 14 to 15. I imagine in the wild, it's more like 8 years because they don't have vets and they don't have a lot of food or things like that. And so, and they're primarily, what we do here is we share these animals. See if I can, let me see what. Jezebel.
Well, they have their days.
What made you want to open up a alpaca farm?
What made you want to open up an alpaca farm? Well, I couldn't believe the price of it. And so what I did is told me they were $25,000 a piece. I said, you gotta be kidding. And I said, let me see what they look like. And they weren't pretty like ours are pretty. In the early days, they would just shear their neck. So it would be a long skinny tube. And they would this chalk up here, but you couldn't see their eyes. And they were the funniest, that looked like a mox. It's like those white mops. And so I couldn't believe it. So I went to a seminar with a vet from Auburn University, and he was doing the talking. And then in 3 weeks I bought them, but it was just they were very expensive, and the price has fallen. In 2009, the price of alpacas fell, and so and it went way down. It went down to like maybe $1,500, $3,000 from like $25,000. And
Wow.
so the whole industry changed. But what I wanted to show everybody is that an alpaca, the reason we have alpacas is it's a fiber animal. And this is what that means. I'm going to touch her and she's going to probably jump up because she's in a rare form tonight. But your hand goes in. Yeah, there she goes. Your hand goes in about this deep. And that's fiber before you touch skin. And they're real, like there's a lot of fiber in these girls. We shear them once a year, and we shear on Memorial Day. And then they look like they're bald, but they're really not. The shear leaves about an inch of fiber, half an inch of fiber on them. And we take that, and that goes to the mills to be made into yarn. And then we make it into product, like we do alpaca socks and hand knit alpaca sweaters and let's see, gloves and hats, things like that.
Headbands.
And
Are- are-
headbands.
So are they really soft? Are they comfortable socks? I like socks. I
Oh,
might need
Oh
some
yeah, no,
comfortable socks.
they're unbelievable. They're like cashmere, but they wear better. And so they compete with cashmere for softness, but alpaca is 4 times warmer than wool. But it wicks and breathes so well that your foot will never get too warm, even if you were in 90-degree weather, and your foot will never sweat with it. So it's an amazing fiber. The reason it's that warm is because each hair follicle is hollow and it creates an air barrier. And so, and that's why, but the softness of it makes it kind of luxurious. Where these animals come from 3 countries in South America. And one is Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Most of the better alpacas come from Peru.
Oh, wow.
There's 2 kinds of alpacas. We have what you call Wakaya alpacas, and their hair grows out straight from their skin. Like if their skin is here, then the hair grows like this. It grows out. There's another kind of an alpaca called a Surrey, and it has a line down the center of its back where you can see the skin, and the hair grows towards the ground like a white string mop. And that's a different type of alpaca. This is Jezebel. She's real tame. She's just acting up tonight. Usually you can pet her and touch her. But you can see how thick her fiber is, and she weighs about 130 pounds, but see, she looks like she weighs about 180, but that's all hair. It's probably 8 inches of hair. And so we get between 10 and 12 pounds of fiber. And that goes to the mill, and then the mill dyes the fiber. And the reason they dye it is because if you're making something, it all has to sort of match. And or you mix all the gray animals together and you get one cohesive yarn. And so, but that's kind of what we do with them. And then we here at the farm, we run barn tours, and people come in and they feed and pet the alpacas because they've never really seen them. They're really kind of pretty because of their eyes. See if you can get this one, guys.
Yeah, this one's so cute. Oh. They look so funny with the hay on them all the time. Do
See if there's any questions.
you guys have any more questions?
Okay. All right, we're going to walk you inside the barn right now and show you a couple of our other alpacas while these guys are eating. Gonna ask something. Okay, all right, come on. Bye, cutie. We're gonna take you inside the barn and we'll see some other alpacas and they're going to be on the white side.
How do you guys come up with names?
How do you come up with the names?
We just sort of come up with them, but all the animals are blood typed and registered at a central registry. Melinda's gonna feed these animals some feed and you can see how they're gonna gum the food out of her hand here. He might want the alpaca, no, he might want the alfalfa more than he wants the food. Here you go. But see, they
Aw.
just sort of go up close and then they can see them. They just sort of gum the food.
Yeah,
Can you
even
see
if
that?
you accidentally cup your hand like that, they're not gonna bite you.
They can't.
Mhm.
And alpacas all go to the bathroom in the same place. They're called dung heapers. So they have one place in the barn where they go to the bathroom and one place outside. And they all go in the same area. They're not like cows or goats where they just poop everywhere. They just poop at one spot. Okay, and then let's go in the barn and we'll show them the other one. Where are we?
I like zoomed it in. I zoomed it in for you guys and I
Yeah,
can
they-
zoom it out.
Yeah, that's a star. That's a star right there. He about that TV life.
I know he's
He trying to be in the camera. He like the people came to see me.
Yep.
Me.
Got a bunny room coming up.
Nice.
This is our barn, this is a female barn. Female and male alpacas are kept separate all the time. And see, a lot of alpacas are in white, and these are white girls and tan girls. But we wanted you to be able to see the different colors.
Yeah, so cute.
And then just shoot over here and we can see. And this is Casey will come for the food. Maybe not.
Come here, Casey.
Mm-mm.
Piper's still in there. They're feeding him.
What kind of noise does an alpaca make?
They don't make too many noises. They hum. And this is the noise they make. Mm,
Yeah.
mm. And that's the only
Yeah.
sound they make unless they have an alarm. And the alarm is a high screech and it goes on. And that means then the whole herd, when they hear that, will be on alert. Because an alpaca is a prey animal. It has no way to defend itself. And and so they stay in groups, but you usually have like a guard dog or something to protect them. In the wild, there's nothing to protect them except the herd themselves. But they're really a prey animal. And so they're very gentle creatures. And then if a baby's born, like at night, the mama hums to that baby all night and that baby hums back. And that's how they bond, is through the sound. And the baby will go, and the mama will go, and it goes on all night long.
That's so cute.
It
This
really
sounds
does. And so, and here's Piper. Now Piper's a dark alpaca. See, he's a little boy, but he's got a real thick fiber.
Yeah, I actually just touched it before the video and it's so soft.
Yeah, he's real soft. And alpaca's teeth, I'm looking at his teeth. Alpaca's teeth grow for 8 years. And so his need to be cut. He's a baby. This is a baby. He's like a young alpaca. So his teeth are growing kind of fast, but they hit a pallet. And so they might overshoot that pallet, and that's what's happening there. And they get cut to where they meet that pallet. The upper portion of their mouth is just hard, like skin. It's not skin, it's like cartilage. But see, you can see his teeth a little. See, his teeth are terrible. He
Oh,
needs.
so he got a
they'll
little-
be cut- they'll be
oh, he
cut
got an
into-
alpaca overbite. Look at
That's
that.
what it is. Yeah, and that's cut. That's exactly. And see that'll be cut back when he it doesn't hurt him at all. But when he gets shorn, they do the teeth too. And so,
Oh.
and see the other alpacas, like she doesn't have that at all.
So no
That's-
braces, they just cut the teeth.
They just cut them off. They file them down. Yeah, see?
Yeah, with the Dremel.
And that might be his baby teeth that are ready to fall out too. I would have to think that might be the case because they're so long.
So
Yeah,
a student asked me in the chat, how big do alpacas typically grow? Like how tall or how much do they typically weigh like at adult age?
Well, they generally weigh about 150 pounds, sometimes 130 to 150. The males are probably 160. And this is our biggest girl, is this one that Melinda's feeding right now. And she's pretty tall. Let me stand. I'm 5 foot. See, her head is above mine. So
Okay.
Oh, wow.
she's- So I would think that their head can go much higher, but that's unusual. Usually they're about my size, maybe.
Yeah,
about
like 5
this.
feet, maybe
Yeah.
4'11".
And that's their neck. And their body comes to about my waist, about right here. Because you can see these girls are much smaller and they're full grown.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't we go into the bunny room for a minute and see if there's any
Yeah.
more questions?
So,
So you guys
somebody else in the chat asked, so they are related to llamas?
Oh, yeah, the same family of animals,
So
but
they're like-
llamas are 350 pounds.
So they're like little llamas.
Yeah, but llamas, you can't use their fiber. This is really, an alpaca is a fiber animal. A llama carries packs into the mountains
Good question, Kamaya.
because it's so much bigger.
Do you allow volunteers or any community service opportunities for students?
We don't generally use volunteers. We usually use paid help. But
But
if
do
somebody
you have
wanted- if
opportunities for
somebody
students
wanted
to-
to come out, they could. We could arrange that.
Yeah.
We generally don't use volunteers too much. We're gonna
Okay.
take you into our bunny room now. Our bunny room started with us rescuing just a couple bunnies. And we have a lot of bunnies now. One of our help thought they had all the males together and they didn't. But before we do that, we got a new goat today.
Oh, yeah.
And his name is,
Uh,
2 years old, little baby.
and here he is, and he was somebody's pet. And so they couldn't keep him because they moved. And so they had him in a subdivision, and this animal is really a pet. They kept him like a dog. And so we brought 2 of our goats down to sort of calm him down a little bit. But he walks on a leash like a dog. This
Wow.
dog. Here he is. Can you get a good,
Mhm.
can you get a good thing?
They was walking the goat around the neighborhood on a leash.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
what they did. Yeah. And see the goat, the goat, it's really not fair to the animal, you know, but anyway, so he arrived today because they were afraid if they gave him to somebody else that he would get eaten. And so,
Aw.
because people eat goats. And, so.
I'll plead the fifth on that.
Yes,
someone asked-
so will I.
They
So
had
will
4
I.
kids, and this was their pet. And so he's really a pet goat.
Yeah.
Someone asked in the chat, is it difficult to take care of the alpacas, and do they ever get violent? I had 2 different questions.
No, they're not violent animals at all. They're gentle creatures. And it's easy if you're used to livestock. If you're not used to livestock, it's kind of hard because you have to give shots every month, and you got, they need water, and you got to pick up manure every day. And so we're used to doing that, but a lot of people are not.
Mhm.
They're very vocal.
Well, they're vocal because he's been left. He doesn't quite, he's uncomfortable. It's not because of us, but because of an unfamiliar environment. He's just
Yeah.
not used to being around.
So the goat that was being raised like a dog, was he living in the house?
Yes, he was in and out. You can't believe it, but that's true.
He was living, yeah. So I'm sure he is very uncomfortable if he was living in a house for 2 years and now.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he went in and out of the house. See, and we have goats, but they're goats. They're goats.
Mhm.
They're not house goats. And so a lot of people do that to animals, and it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
That's how we got our pigs too, is the same way. And so we're going to take you in the bunny room so you guys can see these bunnies. They're kind of pretty. We've got all kinds of bunnies in here. And Melinda, who is this?
This is fine.
Okay.
What do the goats eat?
The goats eat, I'm gonna close this one. The goats eat, goat food.
Goat food?
The goat food, they eat hay. And goats are real funny animals. People say they eat anything. That's not true. They go around and they test things to see what's agreeable with them, what they want to eat. And they put it in their mouth and they take it out, and they're like an alpaca in that they're browsers. So they're not grazers like a cow. They eat a little bit of everything, like they eat a weed and they eat a leaf, and then they eat a little bit of this. And if you give them an apple, they'll eat it. And so, but they don't eat everything. They're real, and their vision, they can see completely around their whole body because of the way their eyes are slit. Like they have a slit in their eyes. I can't remember whether it goes across or up and down. It goes across.
I think it's across,
Goes
yeah.
across. And so they can see they have complete vision. And that's for predators. That's why they're like that. Melinda's holding, come up soon, you're not seeing it. Melinda's holding one of these bunnies that we have. We're loaded with bunnies right now.
This is pine nut.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're really, really sweet creatures. We started by rescuing too. We do a lot of rescue work. And what happened is the girl that was doing that figured she had all the male bunnies together. And we came up here one day and we had one group of baby bunnies, and the next day we had another group. So we multiplied out. And so we got all different colors of bunnies. Why don't we walk over here and you can see these? And all different kinds of bunnies. We put toys in with the bunnies so that they play with these toys. And if a bunny lays, I don't know if you can see this or not, but this bunny, see how this bunny's laying. That means the bunny is real comfortable and is at ease. It's not the least bit upset. And see, this little bunny over here is the same.
Oh, that's so cute.
So they're just laying, they're just
Too
laying down and you're being relaxed.
Then there's like this is a teddy bear. This is not a real bunny there.
Yeah.
That one.
We have lop ears, which pine nut is because he's got the long ears and they kind of flop around. And then the Rexes are the ones that stay up. And then April here.
A question,
is,
do they usually get that big, like this mama bear here?
She's a big rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is a big. Well, you know, the vet tells us that a rabbit's supposed to look like this and that our rabbits look like this.
Okay,
Yes.
too much food then.
Oh. So you said the vet says they're supposed to be about the size of where your hands were initially?
Well, yeah, they need to lose weight. So it's like,
Oh,
this
wow.
is the rat, this is our.
Hence this sign here, please do not feed the bunnies. They're getting too fat.
So they're all very. And these are all baby rabbits that have grown. But we just wanted you to sort of see them. And they were coming, we got all different colors of them.
This,
Unlike what people think, rabbits can't live outside like wild rabbits, they're different. If they get out and run, they'll die from that. They can't, they're all different.
How did your staff person misgender the bunny?
I don't think she knew what she was doing. It's that simple. We didn't know magic. She didn't know what she was doing, and she had me convinced that she did.
Because I'm curious, like I feel like I don't know bunny anatomy, but is it difficult to tell a male bunny from a female bunny?
It's a little bit hard,
oh, wow.
unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so, but she was supposed to know what she was doing, and that wasn't the case. And so I don't know how many bunnies we've got. I don't really know, but we've got quite a few. A lot of them are rescues from people that were, they get bunnies and they don't realize how hard they are. Their bunnies are hard animals. And they keep them in the house, and it's really not an adequate way to feed a rabbit. It really isn't. And they want to get rid of them. And so we take them in instead of them going outside. And look at this little guy in the corner. He's cute.
Do you have to trim their hair or do they just shed it off? That's a
No,
good
they shed
question.
their hair off, but we have to trim their teeth and trim their nails. So all that happens. And they're real soft. This gray bunny is the softest bunny we have. It's like,
It
it's
looks soft.
unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable soft.
Do you still have the pig?
Yes.
Yeah, they're around.
I don't know if they're in there. Do we have anything we can feed to get them in?
Yeah. I can get some-
Okay, and Charlotte.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go look at the pigs.
So many bunnies.
Someone asked, can you have an alpaca as a pet?
Let me ask. Nancy,
Questions?
can you have an alpaca as a pet?
No, well, you can. Some people do, but you gotta have 2 or 3 because they're social.
Oh, okay.
You got,
Okay.
I'll talk up a little more. You have to have, like, alpacas are really social animals. And so, like, if one gets put in the wrong pen by accident, it gets violently upset, like it cries and cries and hums because it's not with its friends. But they're really social. You need 3. You can't have 1.
We got
It's
some
really
students
cool.
like that.
And that
Or
makes
some,
sense.
some students like that.
Yeah, well, that's true. I bet so, yeah.
They
Let
said,
them-
do you have?
We go on field trips and we got students like that. You gotta be 3 of them, or they cry and whine and, you know, send us text messages. We got some-
I would say that definitely makes sense considering being in a pack, I guess, is a defense for them. So when you're kind of out there by yourself, you almost feel defenseless, but it does help to have other people with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense as to why it's better that they stay in social groups.
Yeah, that's cool.
This
Wow.
is Petunia.
Oh, there it is. Oh, you guys muted yourself. Okay, there we go.
What do you say?
We're good, yeah.
Okay.
Well, tell them the story about the silly name here.
Oh, yeah. We thought it's Mr. Petunia. We call him Petunia. And anyway, Petunia, how she came is she was dropped in a subdivision and the people called us. And she weighed about 15 pounds when she came. This is her full size, I think. She's really a potbelly pig. And pigs are the most, like on a list of 1 to 10, number between 4 and 7 of the smartest domestic animals in the world.
Oh, wow.
And that's how smart they are. And they're not dirty animals. People keep them dirty. And they're real clean. Like they'll go to the bathroom way away from where their house is. And the reason, like her mud, this pen is muddy because of the rain that we have.
Yeah.
But it's also, we do a mud hole for them, and it's over here. And the reason for that is because, can you get a picture of that mud hole? And so we create that. And the reason we do that is because pigs have no sweat glands. And so what happens is they roll in the mud to cool their body down. And if they don't have a mud hole like this, we dug this and we fill it with water every day. That's part of taking care of her.
Aw.
And but if we don't do that, pigs can get 2nd-degree burns on their entire bodies if they don't have that to cool their temperature down and to coat their skin to protect their skin. And pigs are funny. They're also very social, and we let our pigs out every day. And they sleep. What they want to do is, like, if you have a group of pigs, they sleep nose to nose because they like the company of each other.
Aw.
They're very social, unlike what people think. And see, we can pet these.
Oh,
and-
wow. You're petting her.
Yeah. And see, let's go down and see if we can get Charlotte out. And we'll show you another pig. They came from a subdivision. People get these pigs and they don't know what to do with them after they're
Yeah.
little.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we had one pig called Kalani who's here, and her owner kept her in her apartment, in an air-conditioned apartment, on her bed. And she slept in her bed.
Oh,
And
my
for
God.
2 years. And what happened is the pig didn't know how to be a pig.
Oh,
And so
wow.
she brought her when it was 90 degrees outside, and I was afraid we couldn't keep her alive because she's never been out in the hot weather. But when she came, the lady brought her and she had toys and comforters and pillows
Oh,
and
wow.
everything with the pig. And I think really all the pig wanted to do was be a pig, and it was so fat that it could hardly walk. And so we put it on a diet. And what we meant by that is instead of feeding it cookies, we fed it carrots,
Oh.
things with no calories in them that would fill it up that were good for it. and it probably lost 15 to 20 pounds.
Wow.
But a pig gets fat blind when they're that fat. And what happens is the fat grows over their eye and they can't see. They really become blind. And so and then they never get it back because all the fat doesn't disappear. It just stays up. And so I don't know. She's not gonna
So someone asked, I'm not sure what animal they were talking about, but they asked, in the summertime, do you cut the animal's hair when it gets too hot, or do you just put them in a cooler place? Like,
oh, and the alpacas, here she comes. She's coming out. This is Charlotte. And Charlotte, look at you. Charlotte is a black pig and she's supposed to be a potbelly, but she probably weighs 350 pounds. We're going to feed her a little bit here. Yeah. She's an awful nice pig. And she rolls over if you pet her. If you scratch behind her ears, she'll flop right over. And see, she's talking to you.
Hair is.
See, it's stiff. Her hair is stiff.
What's the difference between the black pigs and the pink ones you usually see? That's a good
We
question.
got some pink ones. They're just different breeds of pigs. And a lot of pigs, these kind of pigs are crossbreds.
Oh, wow.
Because we could show them Polani over there too. And then Polani's a spotted pig. And but Charlotte's just a black pig. She's talking to you. Here she goes.
I like her little teeth. Yeah, she looks a good belly smash.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any questions before we get ready to close out?
Do you want us the goats?
I don't know. Do you guys want to go look at the goats we have over at the goat pen?
You guys want to see the goats? Yes.
yeah,
Yes, we have.
got some
we-
nodding heads.
Go this way. Well, we can go this way.
Yeah.
Which way? Round up. Okay. And we'll show you Kalani. This is another pig. Now, this is a different kind of pig for whoever asked that question. This is the one that was sleeping on the girl's bed that she was feeding cookies to. You can imagine. I can't imagine, but people do odd things to animals. And
Wow.
they think they're being kind, and it's really very unkind. And so this is Kalani, and Kalani is fat blind. He doesn't see well. Here she comes. She's still kind of chubby.
Yeah, she's
but
still
nothing like
chubby.
she was.
Wow.
And she's kind of chunky. What you doing? Hello.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh.
But see, now she's spotted. She's a different kind of pig. Here she goes. She got a big snout. We don't have food for her. Okay. We got food for you. Hold on a minute now. You didn't get left out. And see, she's a much longer pig. She's pretty long pig.
Wow.
But she's way thinner. I know she looks fat to y'all, but she's way thinner than what she was. She couldn't even walk when she got here. And it was terrible. I really didn't think it would save her, but boy, everybody worked hard and we did. So, and now she's got this whole pen and she's being a pig, and that's what all she wants to be, you know? So, all right, let's walk this way and we'll walk and we can look at the alpacas then, and then we'll look at the goats.
Yeah, we have 3 other alpacas here.
They're coming outside.
If you would like to visit the farm, put yes in the chat so we'll know.
So someone also asked, while y'all are walking around, what do you do when the animals pass away? Is there like a cemetery on your site, or do you take them somewhere else? Or
The whole farm is a cemetery. Yeah, we bury them here on the farm.
Yeah,
we have an area. And we don't, generally speaking, the vet comes and what he does is he gives them something where they go to sleep like a normal person would, and then he puts them down. And so it's a very gentle, peaceful process. It's not something where animals going crazy. It's a peaceful process. And that's the way we do it. Our veterinarian is Dr. Frost in Bethlehem. And so he comes and it's a large animal vet, and he comes here to the farm. We don't take the animals to him. Like, you know, if you have a dog, you take the dog to the vet. He comes here. And so,
What's the lifespan of the pigs?
oh gosh, it's probably longer than me. It's,
Wow.
it's probably 25 years, 25 years. Although I did have one potbelly pig and it died naturally. It just went to sleep one night. It was 12.
Oh, wow.
And so, and it just walked around the farm. There was nothing wrong. It just went to sleep. And they said, well, that's as long as he's going to live. Now you can see show me these alpacas. They can see the size of them.
Yeah. Not too tall, this one here. I think his name is Pickles. Pickles.
So
How long
most,
have you?
so most of the
Sorry, how long-
alpacas have names when they come to you.
If they're registered, they do, and most of them are registered. But we mostly have birthed these alpacas. So we name them and then they're blood typed. And the reason they're blood typed is to show who their mother and father are. And so that's proof of their of who they're coming from. And that's real important in alpacas. And so there's a main registry for them. And you can't show them if they're not registered. I don't show alpacas anymore. I used to all the time, but I don't do it anymore.
And so
Um,
is it? So I'm so is it just whoever is close by figures out the name, or is it like a tornado system? Like we just start with
No, it's like, no, I do. Yeah, whoever is around figures out the name. And they think one name's classy and another
Yeah.
person thinks another name's classy.
Yeah.
And that's how we named them. And then, but then you send it into the registry and they get registered. And so they get registered that name by that name. So that's how it's done. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah. Somebody asked, how long have you had the farm?
Oh, since 1980.
1980. Long time. These goats. They're so social. Love to be pet. They're like dogs. They're not shy. Hi, cutie. Look, he's put his whole head out.
Okay, so this is Annabelle right here. She's a big goat. She's a really, really big goat. And the goat over
Oh my-
here, so this is Rambo.
Is he the dad?
No, he's the only one with horns. I can't. And here
Oh,
comes
he's the only one
Jumper.
with horns.
Hold on. Take that.
Oh, this one's so cute.
No, he's not gonna put that. All right, so the goat over here, can you get a picture of him?
Yep.
His name is Jumper. So he was like our first goat. So this is how he came. He came. Oh, yeah. He came.
It's Kevin.
No,
His
Kevin
name
was
is
the first
Kevin.
And like alpacas, goats don't have upper teeth,
No, they don't.
so they don't bite either.
Aww.
Oh, poor Rambo.
What are the goats' lifespan?
Oh, I don't know. So you trained 10, 15 years. What kind of goat is this?
Yeah.
And these are mixed goats, so I really wouldn't know. But let me tell you about Jumper. So we had Kevin here. Kevin was our one goat. And Kevin is a boar goat, he's a meat goat. And some people were going to have him for dinner.
Oh my
He
god.
was a baby goat. And it was getting cold. So I went over to the neighbors and I sort of stole him, but left him a note that I took him. And so, because it was so cold outside, he was going to die. There was no question. It was going down like 10 or 12 degrees. And so I said, I took your goat to put him in my barn so he wouldn't die. And so, and he had no food and water and he's crying and crying. And he was only about 10 pounds. And so look at the size of him now. And so, anyway, then the guy called me up and he said, "Oh, you got to pay me $80." So I said, "That's fine, pay me $80." And so Kevin stayed here. So he was our one goat.
Wow.
Well, when the pandemic came, this goat back here we called Jumper, the one behind Annabelle, that one back there that won't come up to eat. All right. So the guy pulls up in a pickup truck and he says, "Hey, lady," he says, do you take goats in? I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "This goat showed up at his house
Wow.
and he couldn't find the owner and it was eating his garden and his flowers." And that was Jumper. Now, the reason nobody could find where Jumper lived is Jumper jumps these fences. And he only stays in if he feels like it. And he jumps out and then he jumps back in. And he jumps out and then he jumps back in. And that's the story of Jumper. He just, wherever he wants to go on the farm, he just goes. And we let him go. And he just decides he's going in or he's going out. It's his own decision. But none of the other goats can jump like that. He jumps over these fences
Like they were nothing.
like they're nothing. Yeah, look at this fence here. This is what he's jumping over. Isn't that
Wow.
hard?
That's higher than.
It's higher than me, and that's what he jumps. And so he goes back and forth.
So do you ever have goats that get on top of like the roof?
No, but there's a restaurant in North Georgia that does.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that they get up on a roof. We're gonna get some rocks in here where they can fight them better. We've got some spindles. And, who is it?
No cows.
Yeah.
You don't have any cows.
No. I like cows, but I don't have any cows. We got a couple miniature therapy horses. that
Oh,
we do
yeah.
have. And
Oh, see, they're like dogs. They love to be pet. Oh, and didn't they eat just like 2 hours ago?
yeah, no, but they're gonna, they just fuss. They're
Oh.
just
So they
fuss.
have 3 stomachs, so they always think they're starving.
Wow.
Oh.
So I did have a question.
Okay.
I did hear that you said you've had the farm since 1980. I was just kind of curious.
No,
how
I've had,
you-
had the property since 1983. The farm with alpacas I have since 1993.
Okay. And how did you get into having the farm, or is there anyone on staff
Well-
that has the veterinary background or interest, or
No.
have some?
No,
folks-
I had cows before I had this. I had 13 cows. And then I used to do a lot of books for large animal vets. And large animal vets are notorious for being very poor because they don't charge, or years ago, they didn't charge for what they did. Like their hearts were bigger than their sense, is what I'm trying to say. And
Aw.
so I was delivering financial statements to a guy named Billy Myers. And so Billy, a guy named David Carroll was coming and telling him about alpacas, he should buy them. And he said, I don't have any money, talk to Nancy. So I said, what are you talking about? And he says, alpacas. I said, I've never seen one. And so I said, he said, they're $25,000. I said, I can't believe it. I said, let me go see him. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And so I went, and sure enough, there's this animal, and you couldn't see its eyes. They would have all this hair growing down. So if the animal wanted to see you, it had to go like this. You couldn't
Wow.
see through the hair. And so they were like muffins. And I couldn't believe it. So I anyway, in 3 weeks, I went to a seminar about alpacas up in Pennsylvania. And it was when the animals were first imported into this country. And so then in the next 2 weeks, I bought 3. But I paid $75,000 for 3.
Wow.
And so, and it ended up being a good investment. Everything's relative though, you're thinking, oh, it's so much money to pay, and you're thinking, but everything's relative. People pay that for them, and then you sell them for that, but you pay that for them. I mean, everything goes in the same circle. It isn't like you're buying for 2,000 and selling for 20,000. That's not what happens. It's just a relative thing. In 2009, the price of alpacas fell when the real estate market went down. And so then the price fell to around 2,000, 3,000, like that. So it's a different market today than it was. Very, very different.
So for those of y'all that asked earlier, if you could have an alpaca as a pet, you need about $80,000 to get started with that. You need 3 of them.
No, not today.
3 of them together, and you need about 80 grand. So I don't know how many of y'all can go to y'all parents and say you want 3 alpacas for 80,000.
It did in the old days. It doesn't do that. It wouldn't cost you that now.
Okay, I was gonna say.
It would cost you because the price fell in 2009. So now they're like 1,500, like in the neighborhood of, that's what the price fell to. And that's
so
what it
guys,
is today.
So that means you can go to your parents and say you want 3 alpacas for about 4,500. Some
That's
of y'all,
right.
some of y'all might be able to swing that, but
Yeah. I
I
don't know.
I would start with a gerbil or something.
You can go to the pound and get a dog that likes you for
Aw.
nothing, next to nothing.
Right.
Alpacas are really, they're non-committal, like they don't know their names so much. They know the
Oh.
people they're familiar with, but they don't come to you like a dog.
No.
No, they really don't. Goats, I think, can learn the name pretty well. Pigs can learn the name, but I don't know about alpacas. So-
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
How many people check that they would like to come?
Several, and it'll be on our evaluation as well. So we'll make
Okay,
sure we send you some of
awesome.
that info.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. We're happy that you came.
Yes, thank you. And we'll talk with you soon.
All
Okay.
right, guys.
Okay.
Take care. Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
Nice.
Did y'all enjoy it?
That was nice.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and stop our recording. I know we're gonna keep talking, but I'm gonna stop our recording.
Hey, I know we're not going to keep you too long, but I just got a couple quick